What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more acid trance, and more from the master Pablo Gargano. And we're going back to Eve 6 for the Stranger, which I talked about at the end of the last reaction for Bundu Tundu. And yeah, this is one of Pablo's calling cards, I would say. It's a tune he was, that got, I think, a lot of acclaim, and a lot of DJs were playing it. There is a David Craig remix, which came a little bit later, which is very similar, but brings in a Hoover element. So, it's still acid trance, hard trance, but it has a tiny bit of hard house flavor just because it has that Hoover. But the original here we'll listen to first, and this one, it's got everything you would expect from Pablo. It's got atmosphere, it's got lots of acid. Indeed, it's got a couple moments where it really sort of turns on the acid heat, but it also has, melody and really engaging, like, sequencing. So let's hear it. This is Pablo Gargano, The Stranger from 1996. Woof. What's your destination? Don't know quite where the level is. I may have to adjust.
What's your destination?
Nowhere in particular.
What's your destination?
A good set opening record, if you have a
What's
slightly
your
better
destination,
condition.
stranger?
Bit of pop, bit of surface noise in that opening, but bringing them to the revolution also.
What's your destination, stranger?
I like that. Wasn't a full, like, secondary breakdown, just a quick, like, strip everything out, sample, re-energize, presumably phasing through the outro here. Track you could both open a set with and end the set with. Which, I mentioned it before, a lot of trance tracks are like that. They've got some form of ambient or, down-tempo intro and outro, so they, can work in either context, and also obviously could work in any place in the middle of a set. There are a lot of techno tunes where it's like, it's just a kick and a hat and a clap, from the very beginning, and then maybe the last two measures are like that too. You could start and or end a set like that, but it's sort of like, you'd normally use something that has a bit more of a notable intro and or outro. And to be fair, there are techno tracks that function in that way, but yeah, again, another tune, very versatile. You could use it anywhere in the set from beginning to the end. And as I said, right before it happened, I was like, wait, isn't this one of the tracks that has a boop? And it was like, oh, there it is. But as I said, much better for it to be where it is if there is going to be a skip on the record than a 16 beat right after the main drop, and it's like, oh wait, totally threw off my rhythm. And if people on the dance floor, if a record does skip, or sometimes not just because there's a skip on the record, but I've literally seen people bump the deck setup and whatever, and it'll make the needle jump, and everyone kind of looks, and it's like, sorry man, I do remember one time, it wasn't a buddy of mine, but it was a friend of my friend who bumped the front of the table, and it skipped the needle, and the DJ wasn't pissed, but he was like, yo, was that you? But yeah, basically better to be there in the breakdown than anywhere else. And ultimately, again, just the density of his tunes. There's the main driving bass line, but there's that rolling energetic low end, and there's also the acid, and there's sort of these acid waves riding up and down up into the sky, really high and tight, and then going down into a deeper lower territory. Again, that ghostly floaty synth, that atmospheric melodic synth, absolutely love that. Yeah, it's a classic, as I said. I know there's people who aren't, they don't have Pablo's whole catalog like I do, but they are fond of this tune. I think this one and Ultimate Frontier, one of my very favorites, fair to say. I think those are tunes that are known outside of, the Pablo, cultdom, which I'm very much part of. So, yeah, I do remember hearing this in a couple trance tapes back then. But bottom line, one of his calling cards, but to my mind, not as good as some of his other ones, again, Headlines and Violin Concerto and so many others. It's dude, there's no one working on this level. And ultimately, Core's, Commander Tom, there are other 90s acid trance artists that I absolutely love. And Core's, again, it's he's right there with Pablo. But if I really, for some bizarre reason, had to pick, you can only keep records from one of these artists, it would probably be Pablo. So yeah, bottom line, another absolute killer. Let me know what you think of this one. We'll keep going through more of his catalog. Again, there's some other trance records that, there's other versions of that I want to get back to. So all in good time with everything. But let me know what you think of this. I will see you next time. Peace.